Howdy, folks. John Weber here, the Spiritual Quest podcast guy. Hope you're having an amazing, amazing day. Going to share some 5D new human perceptions with you. First time here, what is 5D new human? You think, what is 5D new human? I've never heard of this before. Well, let me just give you the quick synopsis. 5D new human is realizing that you're alive. Take a deep breath. You feel right here pumping in your chest. You're alive. Feel your pulse. It's pulsing. You're alive. You have life flowing through your body. You're a human being, right? That life force that flows through our blood, that life force that flows through our body, that pumps our oxygen, that makes us alive and living, that's called life force. That's called love and light. It's also called God. That frequency is what makes us human. That frequency is what makes us biological beings. And the fact that we're new humans is that we're going back to knowing that our truth is we are love and light. We are God. We are that frequency. And when we're in that frequency, we can resonate with all of life in a positive, upbuilding way. And right now, 5D lights are on. Everyone's excited. Everyone is learning. Everything is coming undone. Everything is amazing, amazing, amazing to those with 5D perception and looking and listening and watching. Are you in 5D yet? Are you catching on to this concept? Well, I'm going to share some concepts with you right now on 5D perception. And again, 5D is a frequency. If you breathe in, you feel your pump, and it's the frequency of love and light. And when you're vibing in the frequency of love and light, you're vibing in a place where you feel happy, you feel content, you feel whole, you feel satisfied, you feel you're knowing, you just belong here. That's who we are. When you're in the now moment, just this very now second, and you feel your pulsing, you will realize that frequency inside of you, you take a deep breath and you hold it, and you feel this, there's peace there. There's quiet there. There's peace there. That is where the 5D new human frequency is, right? And that is who we are at our core. And when we're vibrating in this love and light frequency, we can vibrate with everything around us. So why is there so much chaos? The reason there's so much chaos is the lights are coming on. Everything is coming undone. Everything is becoming known. The lights are on and they're not shutting off. The doors are open and they're not closing, right? This intensity, this love and light intensity, this frequency is just going to continue to expand and expand and expand. And for those who have not tapped into their 5D love and light and they're just vibing with everything, there's nothing that's going to upset them because they're vibing in that happy 5D frequency of love and light. They're in their core peace. They've discovered this center core peace in their soul. By the way, our heart is our direct connection to God. That's the love and light, right? That's the source. The source is God. We are a piece of that. That source energy flows through us. It's life itself. So how do we explain what 5D perception is? So again, I'm going to be talking about 5D perception, and all the information that I'm sharing has got nothing to do with anything in the physical world. I'm using physical narratives and terms that we're familiar with, but we're talking about the frequency of love and light, like where we're vibing, right? So when you take on a political issue, and right now in America, there's this massive unraveling up in Minnesota with the Somalian community. And there's all kinds of accusations that are being thrown all around. And now there's protests and there's immigration, ICE officials going in there trying to remove things. And all of that's chaos. All of that's crazy. Just vibe out of that. Like, you don't have to be in that space. You can choose to be in the battle and you can choose to go to war, but you know that war is not a God frequency. Right? If you want to be in war, you are going to experience war. When you bring that energy of anger, of resistance, of challenge, of, aggression, right? You are going to experience that. And most of the ICE officials, they're going there because it's their job, right? They're trying to create stability. And so you can say, well, they're not trying to create stability. They are actually creating the chaos because they're the ones that are going out and arresting people on the streets and going into people's homes and dragging them out like we're in some kind of a Nazi SS system where, the government is overthrowing. Well, those are words that carry frequencies, like carry frequencies. Is this truly the frequency that we're living in? Right? So a person says, we need to keep our system of America. We need to be in safety, right? We need to have borders. We need to have rules. We need to have something that allows us to maintain a degree of security and peace and comfort, right? And we need to make sure that everyone is taken care of. Okay. And so what's wrong with that? Like, can you feel the frequency in that? Like the frequency is, hey, we want to take care of everybody. We think that everyone should be safe, right? And then you say, well, let's carry that frequency, that love and light frequency of wanting to make sure that everyone is taken care of, everyone is safe, everyone is caring for one another, right? Feel that frequency. And then you say, and this frequency, the person says, why can't we carry that frequency over to this Somalian community? What's the answer to that? Right? What's the answer to that? There's two words that I'm going to try to explain a frequency, and I'm going to attach words to it. So the frequency is, we say one thing. So the person who says, we need to have safety, we need to have borders, we need to have accountability, we need to have rules, regulations, they need to be enforced. We need to be safe. We need to know where we are in our communities. And that's a frequency that most of us can resonate with. We kind of want that, right? And then the frequency of that's the frequency of the conscious communication that's coming out of the person who's saying these things from their heart, right? Then we have what we call interpretive hearing or interpretive projection. We project our frequency onto what we perceive as wrong. So when we hear the fact that we want security and we want to keep our system safe, we feel it as, you don't really care about people. You don't really care. All you are is just controlling, right? And you are aggressive and you're trying to create mayhem, and you don't really care about these people. You're going to send police in to take people away. Well, again, feel the frequency. So the frequencies are such that right now there is a give and take. There is a frequency moment. There is this massive spiritual vortex that's happening right now in America, and it's happening right now in these cities. And you got to say, if I live there, where do I belong? And I would say, as a 5D new human, I don't belong in any of it. I just don't vibe there. I just don't vibe there. And I feel as if those people who are in that situation can feel the frustration. They can feel the intensity. You can feel the frequency in that. Do you feel the frequency in that? Right? Is that frequency healthy? Was that frequency healthy for you? Is that frequency healthy for the community? Right? So only talking about frequencies. So I don't want a bunch of comments about what's taking place in Minnesota, right? All that we're talking about here is the 5D new human frequency. How do we resonate with this stuff, right? What do we really want in our world? Because we can choose which world we want to live in. And if we want to live in the battles, dude, join the Trump administration. Join ICE. They're paying you to join the fight. Get in that fight. Or not, go to the streets and protest, right? Grab your rocks and throw them at cop cars. Is that what you want? Stop police. Put yourself in harm's way. Is that really the frequency that you want in your world? Is that really the frequency that's feeding your soul? Is that the true 5D love and light peace frequency that's inside of you as God? I would say that those are negative frequencies. Those are the 3D matrix. Those are still the arguments and the battles. And watch this, when we come to 5D and we just vibe out of that stuff and we realize that battle that's taking place is way, way, way deeper than what we're seeing on the surface. A 5D perception would realize that this culture, right, of our system has deep tentacles that go down, that have been maneuvering human beings and maneuvering governments and have been maneuvering money and have been shifting things, right? And it extends way beyond just Somalian residents and extends way beyond just illegal immigrants in Minnesota, right? There is a massive, 5D lights turning on, right? And everything is becoming obvious. Everything is coming out, and you do not have answers. I do not have answers, right? The only answers that I can carry to this, the only thing that I can bring in my own 5D new human countenance and in my own peace, I just vibe to 5D and I vibe out of that. And I say, that's going to solve itself. Let that solve itself. Because if you go down and get involved in the battle is going to continue. In here, in your 5D new human love and light frequency, when you just vibe inside here, you find where you love light, you find the people that you love, the family that you love, the neighbors that you love, the sports that you love, you do what you love, and you live in love. You live in that love and light frequency. That is your world. And anything that's happening outside of you is not inside of you, and it's not in your world. It's only in your world if you choose to vibrate in that frequency. If you choose to grab that energy, right? So rather than getting into the fight, try to understand where everyone's coming from. So clearly there are those who feel as if the American system has been overthrown by illegal aliens, illegal immigrants, illegal people that have come over the border, and they've come over the border without being recognized, and they were allowed in, and they were allowed in by the tens of thousands, by the millions, and it was being paid for because these people were being bussed all the way through South America and all the way up through Mexico, and they were being brought to the border, and the Texas police said, put a wall up, and the administration, the federal administration, came down and cut the fences that the Texas border patrols were trying to put up. And they said that Texas couldn't do this because immigration is a, quote, a national thing. Okay. So in that case, the existing system, feel the frequencies in that? Right? The frequencies were the same. They were just reversed. You have all these people coming over the border illegally, and many people would argue that a lot of these girls were being raped and attacked. There was people who were dying in the waters as they were trying to swim across. The arguments, the frequencies were the same, right? Except the administration then, the quote unquote, the administration, the big mean America, right? And the ICE agents and the like, right? When they were under the quote, previous administration, I forget who the president was then, the Biden administration, right? So when the Biden administration was there, they came down and they said, oh, no, we're going to let them in. We want to let everyone in. Just let them in, let them in, let them in. And they let in millions, which led to a backlash of the American people said, we don't want to have a whole bunch of illegal aliens and illegal immigrants. Not that we don't want them here, because America is a country of immigrants, but when you're bringing them over the border illegally, we don't know who they are. We don't know where they come from. We don't know anything about them. And now if you're in a small town in Texas and you've got 20 kids in your classroom and all of a sudden 9 kids are added into that classroom who don't speak English, do you see the chaos that can manifest? So all of those are frequencies, and we're all fighting to try to control the frequencies. Just zoom out of the frequencies. Just zoom out of the frequencies and find your coherence, because the system is always going to be in this place. The frequencies are always going to be dancing because that's our reality. We live in this world of frequencies. We live in this world where things are going on all the time. And there is no good and bad. There is no right and wrong. There is, depending on your point of view, if you're in the game. But it's a 5D new human. We're just a frequency of love and light, and we can love and light anybody and anything, no matter where we are. So the Trump administration right now, they're now the big guys in town. And so now they're utilizing the federal government and the ICE agents to remove the people that the previous administration let in. There are no answers on the Trump side or answers on the Biden side or answers on the American side or answers on the European side, right? Or the Canadian side or any side, right? The answer is inside of you. The true answer is to exist in happiness and love and light, and to be in the frequency as a 5D new human is to just find you. This is a spiritual place, right? You realize, you breathe, take a deep breath, and you realize that your love and your peace and your contentment in life is a frequency. And when you're vibrating in this frequency, you can vibrate away from all of this nonsense. You don't get sucked into it, right? You just see it happening. It's kind of like, if you think about the ground that we walk on, right? And we go out and we sit on the grass, right? And we enjoy our life and we don't think about the ground that we walk on, right? But if we actually went out and we get down on the ground and we started to analyze everything that's happening on the ground that we're sitting on, and we look at every bug that's walking around and every cobweb of communication that takes place amongst, the grass and the trees, and there's just this natural ecosystem that's running. There's dead bugs, there's dead leaves, there's death all around. There's worms and there's spiders and there's all this scary dark stuff that exists in the earth, right? As humans, right? As 3D humans, we're not down in that earth worrying about those things. Because we're 3D humans and we're just living our life and we're just playing. So we go out in the grass and we can sit in the grass and we don't worry about those little things. And if there's a little ant on your leg, you just wipe it off. 5D frequency is now we're going to the next degree as humans. We're coming to a higher degree collective spiritually. We're coming to this awakening. Boom, the lights are on. We're all kind of coming to this frequency. We're realizing that the world is chaotic. We're seeing all the problems. We're seeing all the corruption. We're seeing it on both sides. And we realize that the corruption, right, is just a frequency. I don't have to be in the frequency of corruption. I don't have to be in the frequency of the problems. I can be in the frequency of love and light. And here's the thing. 5D new humans, when we're coming to this frequency and we begin to resonating with this, and we're all resonating in this 5D frequency, and all of us are now resonating in truth and love and light, and we're feeling this frequency, we are the change agents of the future. Because we are the ones who are going to reorganize the AIs. We are the ones that are going to reorganize our societies. We are the ones that are going to reorganize our lives so we can live in this 5D peace place. And once you come to this 5D peace place, you're just vibing in this, and everyone in your network is vibing in this, life is bliss. Life is bliss. And yes, you can look all around you and see all the problems everywhere you want to look, but why do you want to vibrate in those frequencies? We don't have to vibrate in those frequencies. And your whole life as individuals, again, only talking about frequencies. None of this is talking about politics. I'm only talking about the spiritual frequencies that flow in our stomach, flow in our heart, that run through our mind. These are all spiritual frequencies that are all around us. And your whole life, all the chaos that goes on around you, all the violence that goes on around you, all the abuse that goes on around you, all the negatives that happen constantly around you throughout your entire life, they're not happening to you. They're not inside of you. They're external to you. They're frequencies that are out there. And when you vibe in 5D, you don't have to engage in any of those frequencies, because when you're in the love and light frequency, you just know where you belong, and you can feel the negatives in any frequency that you don't belong in. You just migrate away from it. You migrate away from it, right? And pretty soon, all of those dark, dense, worried, fear, stress, anxiety frequencies, they no longer have any control of you. They literally disappear from your perception. It's 5D new human perception. You're not that you can't see it. You can see it, you can look at it, but you're looking at it from 5D. You're way above it. You're watching it happen, but you're not going in and getting your frequency tied up in those dense frequencies. 5D new humans, we're just vibing high. We're just vibing out of that stuff, right? We're vibing out of that intensity, because that frequency is what we choose to resonate with. And as God, because we are, boom, source energy, that's what flows through us. Our heart is a direct portal to that source energy. That source energy is God. That source energy flows through me. It flows through you. It flows through every living thing on this planet. And that frequency is love and light. Everything that's happening around you is love and light. When you vibe in love and light, you will see the love and light in everything. Because whatever's happening in Minnesota, the people on one side think that they're doing what's right because they love the immigration. They love the illegals. They want to be able to give them housing. They want to take care of these poor people who have been living in Somalia and in beaten down communities, and they're coming from hell, and they're coming to America. And when they come to America, what do they know? They come to America and they're told by their local community leaders, this is how it works in America. Here's where you go. How do you get paid? You go down, you bring your kids to their class, and you get paid for making sure that your kids are becoming trained to being Americans. And you go down, you bring them to the clinics, and there's money that's there, and all that money is flowing. Everyone is doing it because they think that's the right thing to do, and they're in love and light, and they're so happy to be in America. Feel that frequency of love and light, right? And then you've got the people who live in these communities who feel as if it's being overthrown, and they realize that they can no longer pay their bills, and that their kids are in classrooms and they don't get the attention that they used to do because there's multiple languages being taught. And the kids who don't speak English need way more attention. So the people who live in these communities feel as if, I don't know, like this just doesn't feel right. There's just too many. And there's millions of people coming in, and there's no border control. So we need to change this. We need to have borders, right? And they're doing it because they love their children and they love their neighborhood, right? And when they realize that a lot of this money has been corrupted through politicians, right? And that everyone is in on this little money game, right? They feel threatened by that, and they feel a justice cause to try to fix it. Both of those frequencies are resonating love and light, right? You're not in that frequency unless you choose to, right? But if you choose to be in the battle continues. If you choose to be in the fight continues. If you choose to be in the frequency, that's your reality. And the choice that we have right now as humans is we have a choice of where we're going. We are going to go to our highest frequency, and we are going to live in that world, right? We're going to live in this world of love and light, right? Or we're going to live in this world of hate and anger and frustration and irritation and resistance and arguing and fighting and blah, 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 blah. Zoom out of that. Just zoom out of that. Why would we want to be in that frequency? The reason why we've been stuck in that frequency, that was the 3D matrix, was because we didn't see the lights. All we saw was our side. Zoom out to 5D, the lights are on, and you can see the problems that are all over the place, or you can see the love and light of everything just breaking free. And all the corruption is now becoming visible. All the problems are becoming obvious, right? All of the remodeling that's taking place of our planet right now, right? This time that we're living in, the golden age, it's happening right now. We're living it. And those of us in 5D, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. That's what this podcast is about. I'm only talking about the frequencies of this 5D new human perception. The 5D new humans who are manifesting this new earth, and it's a frequency, it's a happy place, and you can vibe in this frequency. It's a choice. Or you can vibe in the old 3D and continue in the struggles and continue in the frustrations. This love and light frequency that we are, the 5D new human, that's what I'm talking about on this podcast. I'm talking about this 5D new human love and light frequency. We are manifesting a new earth from this love and light frequency, right? Because this love and light frequency is God, its source, its abundance, and this is our new currency. This is the currency of our new world, love and light. This is what we have to invest. This is what we have to work with, right? So find where your love and light is, bring that to the world around you. And where this chaos is and where the system is crumbling, before you remodel, you got to tear out what's there. And right now, there's a lot of tearing down that's happening. And by the way, it's not getting any easier. It's going to continue to increase. It's going to continue to create problems, and it's going to continue to create fear to those who are still clutching to the system. Zoom out to 5D, watch it all crumble. Watch it all come undone. And you don't watch it in fear. You watch it in God's source. You stand still and you see the salvation of our Lord. You watch the earth literally right now being fixed. You watch it being remodeled. And so whatever you see is collapsing, whatever you see is breaking down. We're losing our justice system. There's chaos, there's instability, all that stuff. Those are just frequencies, right? In fact, everything is coming together. Come to 5D and you realize that the whole world is fixing itself. Like the problems are fixing themselves. The wars are stopping because as we come to 5D new human frequency, we're not going to want to live in a world where we're fighting. We're not going to live in a world where we're killing one another, right? And we're not going to continue in the 3D battles that we've been in. Nope, the 5D new human is in love and light, and we're taking over our reality by coming up to a new perception of it. And it's love and light. And from love and light, you can look at anything that's happening in the world and you can put a love and light spin on it, right? Or you don't even vibrate there. You don't have to vibrate there. And by the way, there's probably so many places in your life that you have never vibrated in because you've never been experienced. You don't experience 90% of the stuff that happens in your world. But if you watch some movies, you'll see it. Right? If you watch movies, you'll see all kinds of criminal enterprise. You'll see all kinds of corruption. You'll see all kinds of violence. You'll see all kinds of perversions. You'll see all kinds of suffering, right? Because that's part of our reality. It's just, I don't vibrate there. I don't vibrate there. I don't want to vibrate there. I'm only one human, right? But I am part of the source. So me as John, as my little avatar, I know where I want to vibe in harmony with my source frequency. That's what you got to find in the 5D new human frequency. You just find where you vibe and you say, yeah, this is where I vibe. And it feels amazing, feels amazing, it feels amazing. This is the 5D new human frequency that we're talking about. So I'm not talking about politics, right? I'm not really talking about anything that's happening other than it's an internal spiritual thing and you've got to feel in here what's truth. Inside of us is where the kingdom of God is. In here is where we know, when you know. You know because you vibrate with it. You vibrate in truth because truth is a frequency. And the reason we all know what truth is because we're all source. And we all vibrate in truth. We all know the frequency of truth. And we also know when we're violating that. And you know when you're violating because you get caught in the argument and you get all angry and then you do this stuff from blah, 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 blah. And then something happens and crap happens and all of a sudden you come home and you're like, what did I just do? What just happened to me? You know, when we get into groups of people, there's a spirit that can overtake them. It's called the demonic spirit, right? That there's like an energy frequency. And that frequency, Jesus says, when two or more are gathered in my name, there I am also. Well, that same frequency is if two or more are gathered in evil, there the devil is also. So there's like a collective frequency where all of a sudden, you know, you're protesting and all of a sudden you're on the ground and you're kicking people upside the head, right? You're attacking and you're attacking American citizens who are just trying to go to work. They're trying to do their job because they've been hired by the government. And by the way, they didn't have a paycheck, so they need a paycheck. So that's what they're doing. And all of a sudden we realize we're in a protest and we're doing all this stuff. And then when we go home, do we really feel good about this? Like, do we sleep in peace and say, oh my God, life is so amazing? Or are we sick? Are we literally spiritually, internally sick? Are we internally sick? Are we internally depressed? Look at the faces of the people who are in the debates and in the arguments, right? And obviously you can look at the officials, but the officials are representing the collective, right? The government is what we have manifested collectively, right? We have become America and we established these things and we have an existing system. And by the way, that system is falling apart too, right? That system is falling. It's also being reconstructed, right? The remodeling is taking place in America and it's taking place in the entire Western hemisphere, right? All the political movements that are happening, right? Trump's going to take over Greenland. He's taken over Canada. He's taken over Cuba. Like, well, is that true? Vibe out of it. Vibe out of it because it doesn't affect you. It really doesn't affect you. If you're in Cuba, okay, well, that's a different story. Maybe you need to think about that. And if you live in Canada, you got to decide, you know, which do we want to align with what Trump is doing? Or do we want to be associated with what's happening in America? Because Donald Trump is what? He's an old man. I mean, he may be here for another 5 years, but I think his term lasts only 3 years. He's going to be gone. He's going to be off the world scene. So now Canada can say, well, which frequency do I want to be in? Do I want to be in the Chinese frequency? Love the Chinese system. They have a very, very coherent system. You know, everyone has a credit score that's built on their actions. So they can have their kids and they say, you know, if you do healthy things for your kid, you're going to get more time on your cell phone. And you must say, oh my God, that's so controlling. Right? Well, I got grandkids, right? And when my grandkids, if they had their way, they'd be able to spend all their time on the device. So my daughter comes up with a plan, or my son-in-law comes up with a plan. He says, you want to spend the time on the device? As soon as they allow them one charge a week. So as soon as their phone's dead, they're done. I'll tell you what, if you want to sit with your eyes closed and meditate, you want to sit quiet and just be still, you can charge your phone. While you're charging your own inner spiritual frequency as a child and you're shut down and you want to sit in this space, we'll let you charge your phone. Oh my God. Are you really serious about this? Feel the frequency in that. Is that like some kind of authoritarian move by my son-in-law? Or is that kind of a smart thing? Well, that's what China's doing. But again, forget the narratives, forget the countries, forget everything. We're only talking about frequencies, right? It's only frequencies. So which frequency do you want to be in? What frequency works for you? What frequency works for Canada? What frequency works for America? What frequency works for Cuba? All of these things that are happening here in the Western Hemisphere. These are all things that are happening. Don't be involved. Vibe out. Just watch from the 5D perception. You're just watching it all unfold. And by the way, it's all unfolding magically because collectively, we are source. Humanity is source. Humanity is like a living organism. Just as we're a living, breathing human being, our body is a living system, and it self-regulates itself toward healing. And that's what's happening right now to humanity. The lights are on, baby. 5D new human frequencies are coming on, and we are now collectively healing ourselves. In 5D new humans, we play a role. We're the ones that are leading this cause by turning our lights on and staying in high vibe. We are the lights, boom, 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 that are being put on as this reconstruction occurs. As we move away the old system and we're remodeling it, we're the light sources and we're the ones overseeing it. We're the ones watching it. And where we are collectively as source, it's love and light, and that's what's coming. That's what's coming. You can think that way, you can believe that, or you can feel that frequency. That's what 5D New Human Perception is about. That's what this podcast is about. Again, none of this is politics. None of this is anything except talking about spiritual inner frequencies. That's what our world is. We just see the world in the frequencies. Vibe in the frequencies of love and light. Vibe in the frequencies of wholeness, of contentment. That's where we belong. And when we do that, bingo, we're in the new earth. 5D New Human Perception, manifesting the new earth. I'm so grateful that you guys are here, that you guys listen, and that you're supporting these ideas. Ask that you share this, share my videos. Find us on Spotify and Apple, this podcast. We also do Seeker Explorer on YouTube, Seeker Explorer on Substack, Rumble, The Spiritual Quest, Facebook, The Spiritual Quest. So grateful that you're here. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I'm so grateful that you're here with me. Vibing in 5D. Our lights are on. Let's keep shining. Peace.